Today, we're going to be ranking which superstar lawyers could get Dexter off the hook if he was caught. Here's how the rankings work. Born free is Dexter gets an apology from the state and can sue for $10 million in emotional trauma. Bay Harbor toucher means whoever's defending Dexter not only didn't free him, they also added diddling with Diddy to the charges. I'm also going to shuffle the lawyers up and leave a few surprise appearances so you never know who's next. Now, Matt Murdock, please take the stand. Oh, I didn't see this one coming. Matt Murdock, or Daredevil, is probably the most similar person to Dexter on this list. Though Matt and Dexter might seem similar in the sense they're vigilantes who work at night, Matt goes out to save lives, whereas Dexter goes out to end them. So, Dexter gets arrested as the Bay Harbor butcher, and it's all over for our boy. He gets one call before he's thrown back into his dirty cell. Tap, 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 he's tapping away and about to make a call for help. And who else picks up but our favourite masked vigilante orphan, who has a rule against killing? Batman. But he's busy, so next best thing, Matt Murdock. Now, it really depends on the evidence, but let's say they're really trying to f**k Dexter with everything they have. And they've got a lot on him. They found Dexter's trophies in his apartment, witnesses, the whole shebang. Everything but pictures of him stabbing a lad in the chest. So what's Matt's plan of attack? With the evidence being strong, I'd say he'd probably go for the option of pleading guilty, but maybe claiming insanity, getting Dexter put into a nice cushy mental institute, the reduced sentence for good behaviour. He might be able to get him off if he claims Dexter was the victim of coincidence since he's forensics and would have been close to the bodies. But if they literally found the blood samples in Dexter's apartment, it's not working. It's not working. The most likely outcome would be Matt using the fact that Dexter's victims were all criminals and trying to get sympathy from the jury. Matt knows exactly how terrible criminals can be, so you paint a pretty good picture of who Dexter was sending on a holiday. Matt's going in the reduced sentence tier because I think he could definitely get Dexter a room in a nice mental institute like he did with Frank Castle. I'm going to include Nick Savern in this one because they're basically a team in season 1 of Prison Break. So from here on out, I'm just going to refer to them as Veronica to save time. Imagine you're in prison facing the death penalty. There's no hope, there's no time, and the only person on the outside who can help free you is your ex. How f***ed are you? Well, in Dexter's case, he's going to want to have dipped his wick in Veronica at some point because damn, that girl can lawyer. Veronica and her legal partner Nick Savern are like a really, really boring Batman and Robin. Only difference is, there's no sexual tension between Veronica and Nick. How would these platonic friends get Dexter out of prison and back out on the Miami streets? In Prison Break, these two literally uncover a huge government conspiracy and come so close to exposing it all. The only thing that stopped them? Contracts. They'd look into Dexter's case and see if they could find some sort of conspiracy to frame Dexter. They'd scrutinize every drop of evidence and see if anything was acquired illegally. Oh? Well, you didn't get warrants for those blood samples? Tough luck, buddy. Unlawfully obtained. Boom. James Stokes hated Dexter and had a reason to frame him? Reasonable doubt. Pow! BFFs Veronica are finding hole after hole in the prosecutor's case. And they're filling each one of them with doubt and friendship. Veronica would go in reduced sentence, only they'd probably get killed before the case ends, so 50-50. The first king of Israel, Saul was... Oh, sorry, wrong Saul. Imagine a sleazy car salesman. Give him a law degree, and then make it a criminal. And it's Saul Goodman. This chap could get a priest out of a choir boy. Saul is the epitome of doing it by the book, only the book is the Wolf of Wall Street. Your Honor, those blood samples prove nothing. Check him again. And what do you know? Saul had bribed a cop to replace the slides with ketchup. Your Honor, the only thing my client is murdering is a Big Mac. Because Saul plays outside the law, there's no rules. He threatened witnesses, he tampered with evidence, he's even got criminal influence, so he might ring around, see if any gangsters want to put a bit of pressure on the jury. He will do anything, and with his influence, he's probably got more people killed than you and Dexter. Well, maybe a little bit less. I'm gonna let this scene have the final say.
You kidding me? This is the guy you want. This is the guy I'd hire.
Oh, it's the guy you'd hire.
Look, you remember Emilio? Okay, this dude got Emilio off like twice. Okay, both times they had him dead to rights, yo, and then poof. Dude's like Houdini. Seriously, when the going gets tough, you don't want a criminal lawyer, all right? You want a criminal lawyer. Know what I'm saying?
Born free as the wind blows, as free as... Hutz is a bit like Saul. If Saul was a yellow moron, how this man is ever hired is beyond me. The only thing this lad is good for is if you're a white-collar criminal, desperate to have 3 life sentences as fast as possible. A life sentence speed run, if you will. Hutz's defense would probably just be a slideshow of Dexter with puppies, explaining how Dexter could never do such a thing. Look at these cute puppies. Does this bat look like a killer to you? He then claims something along the lines of, Miami Metro has been infiltrated by aliens, and they had to get rid of Dexter when he found out about their evil plans to booty probe everyone in Miami. He'd at some point realize it's a losing battle, try for a plea deal, but then royally messed that up too by having Dexter plead guilty to something completely irrelevant, like inappropriately sniffing at women. Rule of thumb, if you need anyone for any sort of job where your life is on the line, maybe don't look to Simpsons characters, get yourself a real lawyer. Like Robert Kardashian. Lionel Hutz, you're fired. Bay Harbor, touch your tier. Phoenix Wright is a good dude. There is no way he would ever defend Dexter given how much evidence would be against him. But let's say hypothetically, he gives it a shot. This man is a legend of flipping a case on its head and revealing something crazy everyone missed at the last minute.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Let's say he's having a go at cross-examining a witness, saying some genius lawyer stuff that I'm not even going to try to mimic. Okay, I guess there was another person that day of the murder I didn't mention. Boom! Whole court goes wild. Let him cook, let him cook. He cross-examines dogs. Sir, is it true that you're a violent maniac? Lo, what the fuck did you say to me? Crowd is crying, they're p***ing themselves, and your boy Dexter is sitting pretty like a flower. A murderer, serial killer flower, knowing he's not taking the electric chair to hell anytime soon. I think with this man's track record and the over-the-top anime world he exists in, this would be the wildest court hearing to ever take place in Miami. Actually, maybe not. But, all in all, Phoenix, well left, is going in, born free. Dexter has a better chance of just defending himself here, to be honest, fellas.
We cannot accept their conditions if we don't even know what their conditions are.
Do you want to read it?
No, it is thick. Why don't we just take it?
I could kiss you on the...
All right, well, what?
Lazy, dumb, and confident. The 3 most dangerous words to ever be put together, outside of maybe moist, clown, surprise. Oh. Say what you will about Barry, but don't you dare say he's a good lawyer. This man graduated from the University of Timu at the bottom of his class. When he's appointed to by the state, you know God hates you. What's his plan then? Tell Dexter everything's gonna be alright, buddy, and then sit on your gooch into the trial, hoping the prosecutors mess up somehow, and you just by absolute dumb luck, get Dexter's court date postponed. Well done, Barry, A+. So I'm putting Barry in the born free tier. Oh, you weren't expecting that, were you? You know, gotta keep you guessing. Well, I guess again, because he's going in Bay Harbor Tudger. Not Mark Spectre, Harvey Spectre. I've already went over the limit of Marvel mentions in this video, and I don't fancy having my video taken down because I showed an extra 3 seconds of Black Widow's back. Harvey Spectre oozes confidence, charm, and other unsaid things on Donna in Season 7. This guy walks into every court case with the balls of a bulldog swinging back and forth. Even the jury are frightened to lose to this Chad. Alright, enough glazing. So, what's he doing for Flexter? Harvey loves using technicalities to his advantage. Junior detective walked all over the crime scene? The hair found at the crime scene was Dexter's, but the crime scene was his bedroom? Like a lot of the lawyers on this list, this is the go-to for any of the smarty pants. Cast doubt into every and all charges against Dexter and make the jury quake with uncertainty. And this guy is a smooth bastard, by the way. He could literally charm the panties off a penguin. Using the unfiltered riz, he slithers his way into the jury's mind and lays his little happy eggs in their skulls, waiting for the right moment to hatch. How do you find the defendant? Not guilty, Your Honor. Now, he's not as questionable as Saul, but Harvey definitely likes to bend the truth. Lying in the courtroom, making up stories, fabricating evidence. He's really not held to the same standard some lawyers are held to, if you know what I mean. Our chap might be a lawyer, but he most definitely doesn't follow the law. So I guess he's more of a yer. But to be honest, he really is quite skilled. And even without all the illegal loopiness, I still think he would have a great chance of getting Dexter off the hookah. Marks, but Harvey Spectre is going to the born free tier. This isn't exactly fair because Fletcher Reed is a civil lawyer. You know, divorces, breach of contracts, workplace accidents, not breaking news televised mass serial killer cases. Now, it's always better to be honest, folks. But with some of the characters on this list, being able to lie in court and get away with it is a huge advantage in Dexter's case. An advantage that sadly poor Fletcher doesn't have. Aww. When this dishonest, shifty lawyer's son uses a birthday wish to make his dad honest, that's exactly what happens.
Yo, Fletcher, how's it going?
Short, shriveled, and always to the left.
Fletcher then tries to find his way around his usual job, but as an honest man. Fletcher's a good lawyer, but he's also Ace Ventura in a suit, so the goofiness might be a bit too much. The saying small fish in a big pond comes to mind when I think about Fletcher doing anything of this high profile. Dexter's case would be an absolutely grueling, overanalyzed nightmare for Fletcher, and to have any chance of getting Dexter back on the streets, you're gonna need to bend the truth a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a metric ton of lying. Fletcher's pretty good at grilling witnesses though, so something might come out of that. He's quick on his feet and he can put on a hell of a show for the judge and the jury. But ultimately, Reed the Steed is way out of his depths with this case, and although Liar Liar is a great movie, I can't in all good conscience say he'd get Dexter off the hook when he does stuff like this during court.
Is your relationship with my client entirely platonic? Not! Is not your relationship with my client, boink! Bad baby, bad baby. Did you ever not make lie? Did you?
All right, it's true, okay? I humped her brains out there.
Fletcher Reed, you're going in Diddy as a cellmate. If you were ever Dexter looking to pluck any fictional lawyer from any fictional universe, I think starting at a show called How to Get Away with Murder would be a damn good idea. It's your first day of law school, you're feeling good and the world is your oyster. I'm gonna be a lawyer, you say with excitement. You're skipping down the halls looking for your classroom and oh my god, it's the incredible Annalise Keating. Drop out. Trust me, drop out. It's better to be unemployed than dead or in prison. This woman is involved in more conspiracies than the US government. You think you're safe as just one of her students? You silly, bro. You silly. Like a less balding female version of Saul, she can lie, tamper with evidence. Is this a normal thing for lawyers or is it just TV? Basically, she's another morally ambiguous yer who will do anything and everything to win, even involving her students. Where a good defense lawyer will give their clients the best legal defense they can give above the law, Annalise is ride or die for her clients and would frame a 5-year-old if it meant getting her client
Austrian artist
off the hook. She doesn't give a and that's exactly what Dexter needs. Yeah! It was Masuka all along, Your Honor. His bald head was reflecting light from the sun and burning people like ants under a magnifying glass. Arrest him! Anyone who is willing to tamper with and destroy evidence and get away with it has a very good chance of freeing Dexter. Because he doesn't need a criminal lawyer, folks. Remember, he needs
a criminal lawyer.
In Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan wrote a woman everyone loved to hate. So to make up for in the spin-off show, he created a character everyone loves to love, Kim Waxler. Before I say anything incriminating, just go ahead and put $1 in my pocket there. Go on.
First things first, you're gonna put $1 in my pocket, both of you. You want attorney-client privilege, don't you?
A good, honest lawyer, finally! Well, at least until Saul or Jimmy corrupted her with his evil ways. Kim has a big heart and gets very invested in her clients, and in season 4 even starts doing free work for people out of charity to help and give back. The biggest question for me, is would she defend Dexter? I know Kim becomes a bit more morally flexible from Jimmy's influence, but I do think she'd have an issue defending a man who chops people up as a weekly hobby. When she has to defend Lalo in season 5, she makes it very clear to Jimmy that she's uncomfortable with the situation, but Jimmy gets her involved anyway. So in the case of Dexter, she wouldn't be anywhere near that unless she was convinced. The first thing Kim would be doing is trying to humanize Dexter, take the monster image away and get people sympathizing with him. Next, she'd bring in psychologists to try and at least get Dexter a reduced sentence. Now, if we're talking early seasons of Better Call Saul, she's maybe getting Dexter a reduced sentence or put into a mental institute. Maybe. I think. Probably. But if it's later seasons Kim and she's been fully influenced by Jimmy's ways of going about the law, then I'm thinking she'd definitely get him a reduced sentence. But that born free tier as of right now requires either being a complete criminal or having the powers of anime. And sadly, Kim checks no for both of those. In a real world setting, superstar lawyer. When she's up against
Criminal. Lawyer.
she just can't be Dexter's best bet. 50-50. Alright, try this one on for size. If this man knew what he would be letting out into the world, he would have used protection. Rob the Lob Jorge Kardashian, the lawyer of lawyers, the man who did the impossible, the man who bet common sense itself. This man is responsible for freeing O.J. Simpson in one of the most famous cases of all time. The killer was so obvious, people to this day still can't believe he wasn't charged. And to put more salt in the wound, O.J. later went on to release this book, explaining his side of the story and some hypotheticals. So if anyone can get Dexter freed, it's this f***ing job. Rob would first start by creating the dream team. A team of lawyers so good at what they do, you'd think they'd sold their souls to the devil. Each lawyer was media savvy so they could sway public opinion and put pressure on the jury. So, bye bye Mr. Scary Bay Harbor Butcher, and hello Vigilante keeping your children safe from criminals. And at that, why are the streets so unsafe nowadays? If there were no killers on the street, then the Bay Harbor Butcher would have no people to kill. Oh, now we're switching blame. Know what else? Rob thinks Miami Metro are rubbish at their job and can't find the killer, so they frame Dexter because he's a fucking ginger. And these fucking slides are still catch up. Rob is so powerful, even his ex-wife's lover is getting away with killing people. OJ, CJ, Kanye, Timothy Chalamet, Travis Scott. A coincidence? I think not. I never thought a Kardashian could do it, but one of them is actually the best at something besides it being born free as the... So you think your favorite slasher killers would stand any chance against Dexter? Alright, let's have a look and see.